Hello there. I was recently talking to a client. We were just having a conversation, but what came from the conversation was really interesting to me, and I wanted to create a video about it. And she was considering whether or not to sign up for this $13,000 program. And she said, she already has a coach for this, and she already has a coach for that, and she already has a coach for this, that, and the other. It's like, how many coaches do you need, first of all? But who am I to judge, right? Um, all kidding aside, if you sign up for so many things, you don't implement anything, then that's where it starts to become a problem. I was talking to her about doing some editing for some of her videos. And she was asking, what do you charge for that? I don't know if I have it in my budget. And I'm thinking to myself, this is the perfect tool that you need at this moment in time, um, to repurpose some of your video content in different ways. Some of it can be monetization, some of it can be just posting on social media, creating like short form video clips. And it was a 1 hour long webinar that she wanted to convert into like a bunch of little videos, and then she wanted to have like the overall the 1 hour video she wanted to have like polished and cleaned up and have an outro and an intro and everything. So uh we were discussing what I would charge for that. And uh she went from saying, I'm considering buying this $13,000 program, to saying, I don't even have money to pay you to edit the videos. And that really got to me because obviously she doesn't see the value in what I'm doing for her. And yet, even though she doesn't have the money for it, she's considering buying a $13,000 program that she thinks is going to help her. And I don't even have the answer to this, honestly. This just struck me to my core because this is something that I am personally grappling with, is charging more for my services, um, charging charging for packages like high ticket as opposed to charging hourly, or piecemealing things together based on every client's needs, which is what I've been doing up until now. And so, this is my own evolution. I'm progressing out of a time for money mindset to um, creating results and creating value and charging high ticket for that. And um, I was recently with a high ticket pro offer coach who basically helps her clients create these high ticket packages. And she said, for the most part, you're doing the exact same thing you're already doing. You're just charging more for it. And it's the way you're packaging it. You're putting you're wrapping it in a nice, pretty package with a bow on the top. And then people pay, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20 times, 100 times more just because of the way you're presenting it to them. And that was a real eye opener, because all this time I was thinking I had to learn more, to be more, to do more, to invest more of my hours into a client, to become that worth. And that's basically what I'm learning through this process, is how to uh, how to charge what I'm worth, but just how to present it differently. And this conversation I had with my client really brought that home, because In all honesty, I can probably provide for my client as much as this $13,000 program would provide. She's trying to get more leads. She's trying to find more speaking opportunities, and she's trying to get herself out there. She's trying to get more customers. Aren't we all just trying to get more customers? Right? That's the universal problem of all small business owners, right? So how do I personally convey that level of service and that level of value to this client who is questioning paying me for something I know that she needs and something that will help her in her marketing efforts versus this other program over here that kind of lightly touches on some of the pain points that she has. In my opinion, sometimes I'm not labeling anything here because I don't want you to think that I'm poo-pooing the idea in any way. But consider, is the program that you're buying into the equivalent of you going to buy a car and buying a tank instead? Are you going to drive down the road in a tank? These bloated, robust programs that throw in everything and the kitchen sink, is that really what you need? Is that really what you need in your business right now? Is that going to solve the problem that you have currently? And buying another program on top of the 20 programs that you already bought, is that going to help? And this actually leads me into another issue that a lot of my clients have, and a lot of people that I see out there struggling, they all have the same problem. And that is, no matter how much they're investing in themselves, in their business, in these programs, in coaching, every single one of them is asking more from them. And I don't know about you, but I have a short bandwidth, okay? I can only do so many things in a day. I honestly, full transparency here, I already feel like I'm being spread thin. So if I'm going to buy another program that demands all this of me, and I have to learn something new, there's going to be that learning curve, right? And you're going to be struggling along to get through that learning curve before you can actually get to the next level. But now, if you have that learning curve, and then you have another program with a learning curve, and then maybe you bought it 6 months ago, and so there's that learning curve going on, and then there's another learning curve going on from the program you bought last year or the program you buy tomorrow, and then there's other programs that just fall by the wayside because you don't have any more bandwidth to spare, and you can't devote the time and attention to these programs that they need if they're self-paced or if they're like weekly coaching and accountability calls, meetings, Zoom meetings, small group coaching, that kind of thing. They're demanding of your time. So they're demanding of your time. They're demanding of your mental faculties and your resources. And all you want to do is solve this problem. So it's like, it's not only the fact that you're trying to cover up a giant cut with a little tiny band-aid, but it's almost like you're putting the little tiny band-aid on the cut and then you're dumping a pile of dirt on top of it. All of these things that you think they're going to help you solve this problem, and you're just burying it under this pile of dirt. You're just burying it underground, and it's not solving the problem. It's not healing this wound. It's making it worse because now it's going to sit there and fester because you have all these other issues going on. This is a strange analogy, but I'm hoping that this gets across my point, which is find the solution that quickly and easily solves this problem for you that you're in right now, the problem that you're in right now. Now, I'm not talking about, oh, set a goal for yourself. By the end of 2024, you're going to be making $1 million a year in revenue. That's fine and dandy. That is lovely. I'm all for it. You know, put that on your vision board. But what is it that's going to actually move the needle? You can have everything laid out in front of you. But if you have an obstacle that is keeping you from getting to the point where you can start on that path, then it's completely ineffective. Imagine that you're standing on the edge of a cliff, and on the other side of the cliff, you can see your dream life. Everything you ever wanted is just right across this chasm. So, what is it that's going to get you from this side of the cliff to the other side of the cliff? To that other point over there? What is this bridge that's going to help you cross over this chasm? Because this chasm is the stumbling block that you're stuck on right now. And no matter how small it is, no matter how inconsequential it is, or no matter how big it is, it's the thing that needs to be addressed before you can get to the next step. And I feel like a lot of these programs are creating this massive, beautiful vision. This, all the doors of opportunity will be open on the other side of this chasm. But are they helping you cross this chasm? You only need this one solution to get to the other side of the cliff, okay? So piling up more and more things isn't necessarily going to help you reach the next level quicker and easier. In fact, sometimes it overcomplicates things and you have maybe several directions to go in at the same time. And so having all of these different programs at once is going to disperse and divert your attention over all of these different things, and you're not really effective anywhere. And so you're still stuck after spending $100,000 or maybe even more on all of these programs and things, and they're promising you all these riches in the world, and you're not getting anywhere still. You're still stuck on that hamster wheel after spending $100,000. And my hope for you is that you find the solution to your current problem. And my hope for myself is that I can more clearly articulate and convey to you that I can help you solve that problem. So we're all standing on our own cliff. We're all trying to solve our own problem. And maybe maybe you'll have an aha moment and realize that you can't do everything yourself. And piling on more programs and more coaching and more accountability things are not really going to help you because you've already maxed out your bandwidth, and that you need somebody else there to help you do the thing. They they can help you with the implementation of all of these learnings. I wanted to share this, and I know that there are these different levels, and if you are hiring a coach, here's the coach, they're above you. So they're forcing you basically to get up to their level because a lot of these coaching programs, they are relentless. I was amazed and flabbergasted when I found out what some of these people are doing. Some of them are forcing you to make cold calls, forcing you to DM everybody you know, um, forcing you to just flat out spam people, um, forcing you to constantly do things you don't want to do. And I'm all for the whole stretching of your comfort zone, but I realize that once you pay like $10,000 to one of these people, that you're committing to their modality because it's not just the result. I mean, all of these marketers that I've been listening to lately are all saying it's about the results. You got to make sure it's clear that people are going to receive this result, and it's just like, no, let's turn this around. Let's turn the mirror on ourselves and see what's really going on because there are millions of people out there that can help you achieve the same result. No matter how unique they poise themselves to be, the essence of hiring them is still the same. You want to hire them to help you achieve X result. But when you're hiring somebody, especially when you're paying for one of these high ticket things, and if they have any sort of coaching involved, a lot of them is basically like, you follow my rules, you go by the book, you don't deviate, you don't use your creativity, you don't bring anything to the table because you're not using what you can do in this program that we're plugging you into. It's you follow the rules, go step by step, what we train you to do. Don't ask questions, don't resist, just do what we tell you to do. So many of these programs do that. And it's disheartening in my mind, because I'm a very creative person. I'm a very multifaceted, multi-talented person. And to stifle any and all of my input in the process would basically make me miserable because even if I was able to achieve the result, I'd basically have to sell my soul to get there. So what's the point? I want to find joy in the journey. I want to find joy in the result. I want to find joy in my own ability to sort things out and um, attain my dream life. So for me, that kind of stifling just feels icky. It just does not feel like it would be a fun ride. So it's not just the results, but it's what is your process? What is your modality? Do you make it fun? Do you make it hard? Do you make it miserable? Like, if I'm going to pay $10,000 for a program, I want to be absolutely delighted and enthusiastic about every moment of it. And if I'm miserable because they're making me do things that I don't want, they're forcing me to make 100 cold calls a day, they're uh, telling me I have to go jump off of a building to prove that I'm worth something. I'm I'm not down with that. So what programs are you signing up for? Right? Okay, so that was the level of the coaching. That was kind of a long drawn out explanation, but there's the coaching, the coach telling you to do it my way. And there's you here. But the other problem with you trying to reach their level is they're telling you to go and do the thing. So even though you're getting a step up in knowledge, you're still doing everything yourself. So that's not helping you because you're adding more things to your plate. And I'm sure if you're struggling and you're on the hamster wheel, you probably already have too many things on your plate as it is. So this is not going to help you. Okay, so scenario 2. Here's you and you hire a VA. So here's the VA down here. And you have to teach the VA, you have to show them what you want to do. You have to basically turn them into your double. You're 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 trying to duplicate yourself and you're trying to train them on what you're doing. And to the point where maybe, just maybe, they're probably going to be a little bit underneath still because you are the master of your own expertise. So there's still going to be this gap in there that most people should probably just, say, okay, well, it's 80% of the way there. It's 80% of how I wanted it done, so that's good enough. Or you can just like obsess over that last little 10 to 20% to try to close that gap so that maybe, just maybe, far into the future, your VA might match your level of skill and expertise in this particular task that you're training them to do. Okay, so that's the VA. The VA is coming up to meet you. And in the coach scenario, let's see if I can get my hands right here. In the coach scenario, you're trying to reach the level of the coach. Okay, now this is what I do. Let's see if I can keep the hands right here. Okay, you're here and I'm here. And we're meeting in the middle. I am bringing all of my expertise to the table, and you are bringing all of your expertise to the table. I think I got my hands crossed just then, but you get the point. Okay, we're both bringing all of our expertise to the table. I have knowledge. I have knowledge over here that you don't have, and you have knowledge over here that I don't have. But we don't need to match each other's knowledge because we are co-creating. You're the expertise in your zone of genius, right? You're really good at this thing this is what you want to do in the world, right? And in order to successfully, in order to have a successful business around this expertise that you have to learn all of these other things. You have to do all of these other things. You have to get input from all these other people and yada, yada. Okay. I'm going to take all of those things away from you. So all you have is your zone of genius, what you do best, what you love doing, what you're inspired to do, what you're passionate about. So I take all of the clutter around that. And so you're just focusing on that, your area of genius. You can focus on income generating activities. And all of these other things, I can plug it into your vision so that you say, whatever it is you want. I want a coaching program. Okay, let's help you get leads. Let's help you let's funnel people into your program. Okay. I can bring all of my knowledge and plug that into your vision. Or you can say, I want to become a best-selling author. So you come in and you're like, I know all this stuff in my head. How do I turn this into a book and get it out there and get to bestseller status? Okay. And I take all of those things and plug that into your vision of wanting to become a published best-selling author. And boom, now you are a best-selling author. Or you can say, all I do is local. I know that I can have a much broader market if I can somehow reach the people online, but I'm just not good at it. I'm not good at the tech. I'm not good at the marketing strategy. I'm not good at the social media, blah, 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 whatever. Okay. So that's you. And you have all of these little holes that you're trying to fill in your business in order to start moving forward. I take all of those things and plug those into your vision. And now we've bridged that gap together. We've bridged that gap. You are now an influencer on social media. You now have thousands of followers. You have a beautiful website. You have an awesome funnel. You have a beautiful nurture sequence on the back end, and you're converting people through your funnel. Or you can say, I want to make a bigger impact in the world by speaking, but I don't know how to find the speaking gigs. I don't know this and that, whatever those gaps are. I'm going to take all those gaps and plug those into your vision. So you don't have to worry about all those little things anymore. All you have to do is steer the ship. That's all you have to do is say, this is what my goal is. And I'll be like, okay, what are we missing? I can solve these things for you. Let's keep this ship moving forward, okay? And so now I can help you find speaking gigs. I can help you set up your webinars, um, both in the creation of the structure, right? The online structure of the webinar, as well as the promotion of the webinar to get people into the seats, right? Because you don't want to just speak to an empty room. So, it, and on the back end, what are we selling? How can we turn that into another funnel? Because everything is a funnel. I've said this before. Everything that you put out there, you want it to be like this giant spider web, and all of the strings, all the strands of the spider web, all converge at the center. And you are at the center. Okay? So I want to create this giant web that all leads into your vision. And that's kind of like the whole structure of the online, the digital space. In my mind, I see it perfectly how everything works. But I don't want you to be turned off by the fact that I use the word spider web, because that kind of has a bad connotation if you're thinking about the spiders catching flies and the flies are the customers. Maybe that's a bad analogy, but in my mind, it's just the connections, the properties of how online marketing works is very similar to the structure of a spider web. So that's what I mean by that. Okay, so here's you in your zone of genius, trying to do something in the world, trying to be more effective, trying to get more customers, trying to have a successful business, trying to make an impact. And I am helping you with all of these outside connections that maybe you're not even aware of all of these things that are going on out here externally. All you know is you have this vision of what you want. And I'm both clearing the path to this vision coming to fruition, as well as making all of these little connections that you might not even be aware of in order to make that vision turn into a reality. So this was a very long, elaborate explanation, and this was kind of like a flow of consciousness for me, because I've been wanting to formulate this idea in a way that I can convey that to people that are saying, here I am, here's this coaching program that I'm thinking about going and plugging into, even though I don't even have the money for it. Or I don't even have the money to pay for a VA, let alone pay for a $10,000 program. So I'm hoping that it's getting across that there's like these levels of the people that you hire to work with you. You're in the coaching scenario, you're basically a subordinate. I hate to say it like that, but this is basically what you're doing is you're handing them your freedom and saying, okay, you take the reins for me because I don't know what I'm doing. And then there's the VA, which is you can hire a VA for very cheap. Very cheap. And if you can't afford to hire a VA, then you might want to reconsider your business model. But the problem with that is you're always having to train them to duplicate what you're doing, but they're only going to reach the level of your knowledge. So even if you get the perfect VA, if all they can do is duplicate you, you're going to miss all of these other little things around that you had no knowledge of, so that in the instance of hiring the VA, you still have all of the blind spots that you have now. And in the coaching scenario, the coach sees your blind spots and shows and tells you it's your responsibility to take care of those yourself, which is awesome if you want to become a better version of yourself. But it's not awesome if you have to take on more tasks than you already do now. And the problem with your business is currently that you can't reach the business success that you want because you have too many tasks already. It's just going to pile more tasks onto you. It's not going to solve anything. So I will probably do another video like this once I get clarity around how to explain this whole dynamic between these different relationships. But and this is a part of my journey too. Like I said, I'm on this path where I am learning to be seen by my client as an equal, because I want them to value my input and experience and my insight and my strategy on helping them implement what they want to do. See, I'm not the subordinate here. So in many cases, I know a lot more about a particular topic than my client, but oftentimes I'm getting to them when they've already got the coach and their coach has already told them you have to do XYZ and you have to do it just like me. And if you don't, you're going to be a failure. So they've got that embedded in their head now. So then they're like, this is do it this way because this is what my coach told me. And I'm like, yeah, but that's wrong. To be honest with you. Many times I'm just like, but why? If you've watched my videos for any length of time, you'll notice that that's a common theme for me, is always be asking why. Why am I doing this? Why am I leaving my video up for just 24 hours? Why am I taking it down afterwards? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Because the more you question things, the more you can improve things, in my opinion. If you just always go along following the status quo, not wanting to rock the boat, not wanting to question um, the advice that people are giving you, then you're just going to fall into the same traps that everybody else does. But if you're questioning things, you can say, well, why don't you do this instead of this? This is going to be so much easier if you just do it this way. Or this can be much more effective if you just do this, this, and this in addition to what you're doing right now. So there's so many different ways that this equal ground relationship can help you in your business, because I'm bringing in my world of possibilities and you're bringing in your world of possibilities, and we're coming together in the middle and creating synergy. And it's almost as if I become an extension of my clients. And the things that they want to do in order to reach certain goals, or they need to do because there's certain admin tasks involved, whatever it is, whatever those holes are, whatever those gaps are, I am the bridge in all of those gaps. And together we are able to make this dream, this vision, become a reality. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and I hope that this added a little bit of insight into your life and how you conduct yourself and your business. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.